Hey everyone, I'm Rizeki, and welcome to a little bit of a different type of video. Again, we got the face cam, but also we got the TWID. I finally have time during the day to review the TWIDs, so we're gonna go through this week, and maybe we're gonna make it a regular thing. At the end of the video, I'll talk about why I have time for this. But for anyone who's just here to learn about what's going on in the TWID, what my thoughts are, I'm gonna get through that first. Of course, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, all the good stuff. We do a lot of Destiny 2 videos around here, and I'm going to be moving off slowly into some more variety as well going on into the future. So if that's something you're interested in, don't forget to subscribe and all that stuff. Anyway, with all the plugging out of the way, let's talk about the TWID. I haven't read through it yet, so this is going to be my first impressions. So let's see what we got. I might be skimming around a little bit because that's just kind of how I read it. We do have a thick one today. So let's get started. Let's see. Tuesday stream. Exotic armor, weapon tuning, weapon rewards, new Iron Banner stuff, new ornaments, reprise strike. That's cool. A Discord quest. Don't know what that means. And some charity stuff. Anyway, talking about the dev stream. Who cares? We saw that already. Okay, we got the artifact. Now, I haven't really gone through the artifact. I know they went over it in the live stream. I didn't catch the whole thing, so I missed the part about the artifact. But what I've heard about is it's very stasis focused this season, or this episode rather. So let's take a quick peek and see what's going on with the artifact. Right off the bat, it looks like we got some new anti-champion stuff. So we got scout rifles, which is cool. I like anti-barrier scout, although hopefully we don't get another Polaris Lance meta. That was kind of boring. Maybe, you know what? We might actually see something with the Stasis Exotic Scout. I'm blanking on the name right now, from Season of the Deep. I'll put a picture on screen now because I'm actually blanking. But that could be pretty good if this is going to be a stasis season. Overload SMG, Unstoppable Pulse, also pretty good. Anti-barrier shotgun is kind of neat. I don't know if we've had that before recently. We might have. I don't remember. Overload GL, that's pretty good. I remember, what was it? During Witch Queen, Witherhoard was Overload, or no, it was Unstop, and that was pretty good. So we might be seeing that come back, as well as the new Stasis GL probably is going to be included in this. Are there any other anti-champion mods in here? It doesn't look like it. So, I mean, I'm happy they're all in column 1. That means you could easily get them, and I think there's going to be more rows that are coming out as the episode progresses, which will be pretty cool. Okay, let's go from row to row and see what we got in terms of mods. One with Frost Armor. While Frost Armor is active, stasis weapons gain reload speed and stability. Okay, so just kind of increasing weapon handling, basically, when you have Frost Armor, which is kind of cool. Frost Armor is currently pretty weak, so maybe the artifact is going to give it the little push it needs to make stasis meta. I'm sure that's what Bungie's going for, but we'll see what happens. Wind Chill, rapid stasis weapon precision hits grant you a staggered Frost Armor. This kind of works well with the scout rifle thing, which is nice. Rapid precision hits from weapons with the Dark Aether Reaper origin trait. This must be the seasonal weapons. Grant you more stacks of Frost Armor. Okay. Boost. I'm assuming this has to do with the new potion brewing. Dealing stasis weapon damage to slowed targets has a chance to spawn a stasis shard. Okay, so this is like, there's a fragment that does this, or something very similar. So it's kind of like you get a free fragment, which is kind of cool. Armor of Aramis, while Frost Armor is active, taking critical damage from combatants causes you to emit a freezing burst. Okay. This might actually be... This feels like something that Titans are going to use, maybe, with the new exotic, because they're going to be up close and personal. and they're going to be causing self-damage with that exotic. So this might work well for them. I don't know how good it's going to be for the other two classes, but Titans probably will like this. Brain Freeze. Frozen combatants become surrounded by a chilling fog, which slows combatants that aren't already slowed. Okay. Interesting. So is this like this might be like a mini Duskfield, kind of. I don't know how good this is going to be. There's probably some more powerful artifact mods as we get further in, but that's not terrible. But we do have a lot of AoE slow and stasis already, so I don't know how useful this particular perk is going to be. Killing Breeze, rapid weapon final blows grant you a bonus to mobility. It's okay. I mean, mobility doesn't do anything right now. We know this. As a hunter main myself, I don't put any points into mobility for the most part because it doesn't do anything. So this is kind of a... Honestly, this perk is DOA. But we'll see if something changes. I don't know. Maybe the second part is going to be a little bit more of a reason to use it. But for mobility, no one's going to want this. Crystalline Converter. Gather stasis shards to gain a stack of Crystalline Converter. Your next powered stasis melee hit creates stasis crystals equal to the number of stacks you have. Oh, you know what? This is going to be good with the Hunter exotic that creates stasis crystals when you use shurikens. This feels very similar to Verglicurve, the exotic bow from Lightfall. And it'll probably work in a very similar way. So I think this will be really good, especially if you're running Hunter. Or Titan also, with the melee focus builds on stasis. Again, I don't think Warlock is going to use this very much, but you never know. And for boost, stasis weapon final blows after activating your class ability spawn a stasis shard. I think that's pretty good. It's going to make your Frost Armor a little bit more consistent. It's not the strongest effect. Really, you're going to be taking this for the first effect here and not the second effect, but the second one is a nice bonus. Crystallized Autoloader. Shattering stasis crystals releases shards of ice that damage and slow targets. We've seen something like this before. I forget what the mod was called, but it did a very similar thing. I think it was during Season of the Wish. It was in the final column. Very similar. And this will obviously work well with Crystalline Converter or any other stasis crystal generation. And the boost is actually really nice. We get bonus shatter damage. So this is going to be a must take, I would assume, if you're running stasis in any way. Supernova, picking up a Void Breach causes your next source of void damage to create a large weakening pulse. Hey, I got no problem with this. I don't know how much void is going to be used. Maybe there's some more void stuff in the next couple rows. But I could see this. It's a good perk. It's just solid. Not much else to say on that one. Enhanced Ether Generator. Dark Ether Reaper Origin trait has a chance to spawn an extra Dark Ether charge. I don't know what that means. I actually don't know what that means. I guess I'll see when I get my hands on the seasonal weapons next week. And then I'll render judgment on that perk. Total Carnage. After finishing, a powerful combatant gain temporary damage resistance. While you have 2 or more Shadewalker armor pieces equipped, Shade Stalker armor pieces equipped, after finishing, a powerful combatant gain increased temporary damage resistance and replenished health. Interesting. So this is kind of getting into the set bonus stuff that Bungie was talking about before. I'm assuming the Shade Stalker armor is the new seasonal armor. I wonder... No, it's probably not going to work with ornaments. So... It's kind of like a mini Assassin's Cowl almost. I think this will be good. Assuming that we can get good armor pieces, or it's worth using the armor. Like, if this effect is more beneficial than having Artifice armor, I could see it being useful. Or if we could get Shadestalker Artifice Armor, it'll be useful. If I can't, and the effect isn't nearly good enough to replace my current armor, I'm probably not going to use it, but it seems like a cool perk, or at the very least, it's kind of like a beta test for the set bonus stuff that they're working on. Let's see. Debilitating Wave. Finishers emit a damaging wave that matches the element of your currently equipped super. Okay. It's probably a little bit weaker than a Waveframe GL. With the boost, it's probably pretty nice, though, because it applies subclass verbs. We'll see how good this works. Maybe on Void, it'll be pretty good. If you're running like an Omnioculus Hunter or something like that, I could see that being pretty useful because you're doing a lot of finishers. But if you're running a build that's not really relying on finishers, like Omnioculus is, then I don't know if you're going to want to take it, but it's not bad. Conductive Cosmic Crystal. Your arc abilities, void abilities, and weapons with Dark Ether, Reaper, Origin trait do bonus damage to targets that are affected by a stasis debuff. Okay, so this is kind of getting into the territory of giving us some more options with stasis. I think if you combine it with Supernova, I could see something like Buried Bloodline being really good, because you get the healing from it. It's a void weapon, so you're going to be creating a weakening pulse after killing stuff with it, and it's also going to do extra damage to targets that are slowed or frozen, which is probably going to be pretty good. Anyway, Fell of the Revenant, deal increased weapon damage to Scorn. Okay, and then some more set bonus style perks. Cool, I think this one will be good. Perks like this are always pretty good, especially with the dungeon coming up, which is probably going to be a Scorn dungeon, if I had to guess. I mean, Taken spec was used pretty much all the time, so obviously people are going to take this. Power from Pain, rapid final blows against weakened combatants grant you Devour. Okay, that also goes into the Supernova. Just some more void stuff. And the boost gives you a Void Breach, so again, some more void help that isn't necessarily reliant entirely on using a void subclass. Also, probably works pretty well with Prismatic because you could have Stasis and Void together. Anyway, Concussive Reload. Using a grenade launcher, damage a boss, damage a champion, or break a combatant shield weakens them. This is going to work really good with the Overload GL. I think they're really trying to push that new Stasis GL from, I believe it's a season pass. So that should be interesting. I don't know how much I'm going to want to take this over other perks. I do like the boost, though. Reload stowed weapons. So, you know, maybe we'll see this, especially because it procs on boss damage. This will probably be pretty good in the day one dungeon as well. Served Cold. Picking up a Stasis Shard grants you class ability energy. Picking up a Void Breach grants melee energy. Okay, so we're I guess they're maybe beta testing some stuff with Stasis Shards. For those of you who have seen my previous videos about the Stasis subclass and kind of the state it's in, and it's not that great, I talked about how Shards have lost a lot of their potency because we lost Elemental Well mods during Lightfall, and one of those components was returning energy when you picked one up, so they're kind of bringing this back. So not only are you going to get melee energy, you're also going to get class ability energy as well, which will be super nice. For our final row, Rapid Impact. Stealing damage with a grenade launcher temporarily increases the reload speed of GLs. This is going to be really good for boss damage, obviously. If you're running a heavy GL, this is just going to be like, you're going to go rapid fire. I'm thinking things like Cascade Point and Bait and Switch. You're going to get a lot more value out of them because you could reload faster. Trace Evidence. Rapid precision hits or rapid final blows on targets affected by Jolt or Blind will generate ionic traces. And traces grant an armor charge when you're boosted. if you're running Arc, this will be good, I guess. It looks like there's not too much here for Arc. I say that, and then I immediately look at Retinal Burn. Rapid Arc weapon precision hits consume an armor charge to blind the target. No one's taking this. It's kind of useless. There's a lot of blind built into Arc anyway, and if you're blinding something, you might as well kill it first, so you're not... Blind has never really been that useful outside of some niche situations like Crota's End on the bridge or other weird situations like that. But using it for general ad clear, obviously it's not going to work for bosses. This perk's not great. Kinetic impact. Sustain damage with a power grenade launcher causes the combatant to emit a shockwave that damages nearby combatants. So this is kind of like kinetic tremors, but for GLs. And it stuns on stops. So we kind of get like a double dip with GLs. If you have a heavy breach loaded GL, then you could stun on stops and overloads with it. Because I'm assuming the shockwave is different. It's going to be considered not weapon damage. Although we'll have to see. That's going to be something that I'll have to test. If you can double dip, that's going to be pretty freaking strong, though. Okay, exotic armor tuning. This is something I've been looking forward to for a while. There's a lot of armor that is really bad, and a lot of exotic reworks they've done have also been complete trash. So let's see what they're doing here. First off, we got Hunter. I see Blight Ranger. That's exciting. Lucky Pants. Lucky Pants has been one of the more complicated exotic armor pieces. And the limitations were necessary because of the maximum strength of its perk. Lucky Pants have always been good. Unfortunately, the high-end strength of Lucky Pants was causing constraints in terms of other PvE balancing. So we've decided to kill 2 hive moths with one-shot. Dude, I can't speak today. And reduce the complexity while bringing down the maximum potency. To offset this, we have also added some new benefits to the exotic, which will be especially nice for our movement-focused hand cannon users who enjoy stompies, but wish they also... improved AE and handling. Now provides movement bonuses, including increased slide distance and sprint speed while the hand cannon is equipped. Okay, are they completely removing the bonus damage? AE bonus is active whenever hand cannon is equipped, not just when the buff is active. Okay, so they're making it more of a PvP exotic, maybe? No longer requires the hand cannon to be matched to the super damage type or kinetic to receive the PvE damage buff. Out of luck cooldown will only trigger if you reach 7 stacks of the PvE damage buff before swapping off the weapon or time expires. Out of luck. Okay, so 7 stacks of... Oh, okay, so they're limiting the uptime of the bonus damage in PvE, and they're bringing the damage down, is what it looks like they're doing. So they're bringing the ceiling of this exotic down. It's not going to be bad, but it's not going to be able to just kill a boss with malfeasance anymore. Rip primary ammo hunter DPS. Let's see. Young Ahamkar's spine. I was not expecting this today. We have a little visitor. Hello, Percy. You guys can't see him. Maybe he'll show up on camera in a minute or two. Young Ahamkar's spine. They nuked this in PvE about a year ago. And since then, it's been completely useless. PvP, useless. PvE, useless. So they want to better preserve the previous PvE gameplay, which is great. So we're separating the sandboxes a little bit. Once again, provides ability energy on trip mine hits instead of final blows in PvE and a little bit in PvP, but the 8% is not going to shift the needle too much, I don't think. Maybe you'll see a couple more people using it, but it's nothing compared to scatter grenades currently. But yeah, having the energy back in PvE is going to make this exotic actually useful again, which is great. It was one of my favorite builds for Solar, and it's nice to see it coming back. I'll have to try the exotic out and see if it feels similar to how it did pre-nerf. Blight Ranger. And we got another Raiju's Harness. Anyway, Blight Ranger. Blight Ranger is rooted and boosting Arc Staff. Reflection, which is a useless mechanic. Let's see. Added the ability to cancel your Arc Staff super while equipped, damaging and blinding nearby enemies, granting a tier 4 arc weapon damage boost. Okay, this was what they did for Raiju's Harness during that update. And Raiju's Harness is still terrible. Damage dealt by this effect scales with the number of projectiles reflected. Okay. No longer creates orbs of power when reflecting projectiles. Reflecting projectiles now instead directly refund super energy, extending the duration of your super. You know, I'm going to be honest. This isn't shifting the needle on Blight Ranger at all. It's still going to be bad. No one is using their super to create orbs of power and reflect projectiles. If you're popping your super, you're doing it to clear ads or burst down a boss. Percy's being a little naughty right now. But yeah, Blight Ranger was always bad, not because of its effect necessarily, but because the effect worked off of a mechanic that no one used. So this isn't going to do anything. Blight Ranger is basically dead on arrival still. Let's see what they did to Raiju's Harness. Maybe by shifting the old Raiju component into Blight Ranger, they've changed how Raiju's Harness works fundamentally to make it better. So let's see what it does. Yeah, all the old behaviors now on Blight Ranger. We've rebuilt Raiju's Harness based on its lore tab to differentiate it from other Arc Staff exotics. It now enhances Gathering Storm. Oh. Fully reworked behavior on its exotic trait, Mobius Conduit, inspired by its lore tab. Okay, we read that already. Activating Gathering Storm calls down lightning on all nearby targets, jolting them while also amplifying allies. Defeating arc debuff targets grants a small amount of Gathering Storm energy. Whoa, so they completely took away the Arc Staff component of Raiju's, it looks like. So now it's entirely about Gathering Storm, and it feels like it's almost like a mini Star Eater Scales specifically for Gathering Storm. Actually, you know what it sounds like? It sounds much more like Celestial Nighthawk or Shards of Galanor, where you're going to be able to get the super back way faster by doing a little mini gameplay loop, which is defeating arc debuff targets. So if you're running something like Combination Blow Hunter, you're going to get your your Gathering Storm back extremely quickly, and just having the bonus to Raiju's is going to make it a lot better. I think this exotic is actually going to see play now, which is kind of exciting. I'm kind of disappointed that Blight Ranger got shafted, but Raiju's is going to be useful again, which is super cool. Finally, we have Relativism. Prismatic Hunters have access to lots of stacking melee damage bonuses. Okay. Syntheseps is just getting a reduced damage bonus. Fine. Not a big deal. I guess it was just outperforming things. It's fine. Titans. Icefall Mantle. Icefall Mantle's core fantasy is all about becoming an invulnerable icy tank. Reworked it to focus on that fantasy, surrounding frost armor instead of stasis weapon damage. Okay. You now gain a stack of frost armor for rapid stasis final blows. Each time you gain a stack of frost armor from any source, you'll heal a small amount. The unique class ability granted by Icefall Mantle now provides maximum stacks of frost armor instead of its custom overshield. Okay, so we're just completely getting rid of any overshield from stasis now, in favor of frost armor. I'm not sure if that's going to be good or not, because frost armor just gives the DR, but the overshield effectively gave you back healing, which is kind of why frost armor felt week when we got it in the final shape. But they say with Icefall, you're going to heal for each stack that gets added, so they kind of bring that healing back. Now works with Thruster, that's cool. Probably mostly a prismatic change. Class ability energy now begins to recharge immediately after using the class ability. Fine. The burst of stasis energy from the class ability now freezes combatants and slows players. Cool. No longer provides stasis weapon damage. So now it's mostly just a neutral game exotic. And you need a stasis super. I don't know if I like this last piece. I think it would have been cool if you could have any super you want on prismatic, but it seems like it's in the right direction. It's more of a defensive exotic, as opposed to the new stasis. Dude, I can't speak today. The new stasis exotic that is focused on offensive capabilities. Cadmus Ridge Lance Cap. I have famously complained about this exotic because it never felt good to me. It was very complicated. Too much words for not much gameplay. Let's see. Remove the stasis weapon requirement. Now, any final blows or precision hits while behind a rally barricade with a stasis super equipped. I don't... Stop doing this. Just give people tools to do whatever they want. Just stop restricting things. I guess they're really trying to push stasis. It's like, man, it would have been cool if you didn't need the stasis super. Anyway, it'll make a diamond lance. So you just need any weapon, which is fine. Directly hitting any powerful combatant with a diamond lance will now create 3 stasis crystals. Yeah, I think this is cool. Good change. It'll make it a little bit more powerful. A little more offensive, maybe. I don't know. We'll see how this plays out. I like not needing the stasis weapon, and then more crystal generation is always good. Ursa Furiosa and Spirit of the Bear. Now that Unbreakable has been live for a bit, we feel these exotics could provide additional super energy in PvE. But PvP is a little too strong. So PvE, they increase the super energy gain and nerfed it in PvP. Fine. Just a little adjustment there. There are so many Titan exotic changes. Hunter's got what, 4? Jeez, Titans. Curious of the Falling Star. I'm just gonna skip the big text. Melee final blows will amplified grant super energy. Cool. So again, kind of going in the Celestial Nighthawk route of you get this little mini gameplay loop and then you get your super back faster. Reduce the damage bonus from Curious to Thunder Crash from 2 times to 1.55 times. Interesting. So we nerfed it, but I guess because it's going to be up more, it's fine. I don't know. I feel like you're only getting 1 Thunder Crash per boss anyway. So I don't know if this was really necessary. Replace the Overshield after impact with damage resist. Okay, I guess that's probably more of a PvP adjustment. I don't know. I guess that's fine. Peacekeepers, dealing damage to combatants with an SMG increases damage for a short time, maximum of 20 stacks. Okay. Doesn't sound like they really changed much here. I guess they just wanted to make it more useful in PvE, which is fine. Mask of the Quiet One. This one was kind of a sleeper pick, at least during Onslaught and a little bit afterwards. It's always been like a decent pick, but it's never been like the best. Rapid final blows and final blows while at critical health now grant Devour. And you need a Void super. Again, I don't know how I feel about requiring the super. It would be cool if they just, you know, said have at it, but oh well. And it looks like you don't have to be at low health to get Devour. So as long as you're killing things fast, you're going to get Devour and be alive longer. Kind of just making Titans more tanky. Cool. And then Stoicism. Spirit of the Horn. Activating Thruster leaves a ball of solar energy behind, exploding and applying Scorch. Cool. Oh, I guess they all just are now going to work with Thruster. I guess that's it. Cool. Not much to say there. Warlock. A couple here for Warlock. Wraith Weavers adjusted the Hearts of Ice perk to increase shatter damage on targets frozen by the Shadebinder super by 100%, regardless of who breaks them. And granting Frost Armor to your allies with Frost Pulse or Winter's Wrath grants you super energy. Again, making these super exotics more like Nighthawk and Galanor, where there's a little mini gameplay loop that helps you get your super back faster. I really like that design choice, and I'm glad to see it coming to a lot more exotics than just the Hunter exotics. Dire Ahamkara Skull. This was an absolutely useless exotic. In fact, I don't even have one on my account because I got rid of all of them. And they have, again, gone the Nighthawk route of giving you more super energy for completing a mini gameplay objective. Sweet. We might see some more Nova Palm builds. If you could get this back like super fast, like Galanor, you might actually see people running Skull of Dire Ahamkara, which is going to be kind of crazy. I'm excited to see what happens there. Sanguine Alchemy now marks targets you damage while standing in a rift. You deal 10% extra damage from any source against marked targets, and you get Surge times 4. Fine. Sanguine was fine before. I guess it just wasn't hitting the points that it was looking for. I also suppose this might be a little bit of a PvP buff. Maybe. I don't know. It's fine. Verity's Brow and Spirit of Verity. First stack of Death Throws now provides plus 40 grenade damage. Each additional stack now provides 15. PvP is unchanged. Okay, so this is just kind of making it more useful even at lower stacks. So Verity's Brow has always been a really good exotic. Little sleeper, so the people who know, but now you could use it and it's a little bit more forgiving if you can't get max stacks of Death Throws all the time. But whatever. Cenotaph changes. Heard your feedback that hiding the target marker from the player wearing Cenotaph was confusing, so we're reverting. Oh. Okay, whatever. Visual change. Fine. Functionally the same exotic. Osmiomancy. Reduce the increased seeker distance and speed by 50%. Okay, this is the PvP nerf, it feels like. So PvE, you're probably not going to notice a change for the most part, but in PvP, it's going to feel a lot better to go against. Speaker's Sight. Huh. Are we actually buffing this? Oh, it's a Crucible buff. Interesting. So if you heal an ally 6 times, you get an Orb of Power. You know, I don't know how many people were using Speaker's Sight in Crucible. Full disclosure, I haven't played much PvP in the past like 2 or 3 months. So maybe it was a problem. But I don't think this is going to make it so much better that you're going to see every Warlock running this. But it's definitely not bad. So if you're running like a support build, I suppose it's going to be good. Super damage tuning on exotics. Lot of Star Eater changes. Whoa, 26% nerf on Twilight Arsenal. Wow. I'm not sure why we have a Golden... Oh, Celestial Nighthawk and Golden Gun. I was like, why are we changing Star Eaters and Golden Gun? Okay, I guess there was just some stuff that was overperforming. This might be changes geared at the new dungeon. So, I don't know. It's fine, I guess. Maybe they're also trying to push people to use Skull of Daira Hamkara for warlocks. I don't know. I'm not too bothered by any of that. Just seems like general balance adjustments. We read that already. Cyclones are buffed. Cool. Pyrogales are always good, and they've always been good, so I don't think they needed a buff, but it's fine. And then just kind of going over the nerfs again. Fine. Weapon tuning and new mods for Revenant. Weapon archetypes. Whew. This is the longest TWID of all time. How long have I been recording? 35 minutes. Holy moly. Auto rifles, scout rifles, pulse rifles, SMGs, sidearms, hand cannons. Change critical hits. Okay. Just adjustment on damage, I guess. I'm going to try and go a little bit faster so I don't take up too much more time. Let's see. Increased heavy burst RPM. Increased damage in PvE by 18% for the legendary weapons. Or decreased damage. Same with Gravelance and Revision 0. I wonder why. Were they just... I guess they were overperforming, but they felt fine to me. Maybe it was a PvP change. That would make the most sense. Snipers, reduced flinch, reduced camera roll, thank you. Increased damage against bosses. Okay, cool. We might... Oh, this is... You know what? This is totally a change for Icebreaker. And I guess it nicely affects the other snipers, like Whisper and Darcy. Cool. They're just making it better in PvE. No problems there. Glaives. Just a bug fix. Shotguns. Minimum damage after fall off has been increased from 0 to 40% for damage versus AI only. Okay, so PvE buff slightly. Rocket assisted sidearms. Reduced reserve ammo by 25%. I guess that makes sense. They've kind of taken over the game. I primarily use a rocket pistol for everything, and I never run out of ammo. And with things like Volt Shot and Incandescent, I have no reason to use a real primary. So I guess this makes sense. They just want to kind of incentivize players to use other weapons. Traces have more ammo in PvP. Fine. I guess I'm bringing back my divinity to the Crucible. That's gonna be funny. Machine guns, high impact, increased crit damage by 4%. I don't know how much that's gonna move the needle. Wait for some damage testing to see what happens there. Heavy GLs. Slight nerf. PvE's the same. PvP slight buff. I did notice that during, I think it was Final Shape, GLs just didn't feel great in PvP. Like, you get 3 shots and sometimes you'd hit 2 and it wouldn't kill. So having a little bit of a extra buff to that is nice. Rapid fires, increased damage. Cool. PvP weapon micro tuning. I'm just gonna skip past the PvP stuff because it's mostly just damage adjustments. So if you want to read through these, go ahead. I'm not super into PvP changes, so maybe go check out a PvP guy, like Cool Guy or any of the others to see more information about these changes. Exotic weapons. Let's see. Choir of 1 was a little hot. Yeah, it was a little strong. Base reserves are nerfed. Max reserves nerfed. Damage reduced and hipfire damage increased in PvP. So just overall chopping fingers off of Choir of 1, but it makes sense. It was outperforming a lot of heavy weapons in DPS testing. So fun weapon was a little too strong. Huckleberry Now fully reloads on kills. Replace Catalyst with Kinetic Tremors. Cool. We might see more of this. I like Huckleberry. Might be a little annoying in PvP now. But in PvE, it's going to be pretty cool. Pretty much never reload on any class, which is pretty sweet. Tarba. Gain damage resistance against incoming solar damage. Okay. I guess that's fine. It's a little weird. I guess because PvE just wasn't doing well. All right. Not sure if we had to add it for PvP, but it is what it is. Symmetry now gains a stack of dynamic charge on kills in addition to precision hits, just making it more consistent. Duality stacks for max effect reduced from 5 to 3, just making it more consistent again. Bad Juju, increased lifetime of String of Curses from 3.5 seconds to 5.5 seconds, and a little higher with the Catalyst, just making it a little stronger. Bad Juju has always been in a weird spot where it's like an okay pick, but it's never been the best pick for anything. So just kind of making it a little bit better, and we'll see if people start taking it. I don't know. We'll see. Exterus, cool gun. No one used it. So they're increasing it. It's also a GL, so we might see some use from the seasonal artifact. Let's see. Yeah, more damage, more reserves, more moths, I guess, and we reduce the moth cooldown. Cool. Fighting Lion. PvE change. I don't think anyone used it in PvE, but there you go. If you're a Fighting Lion fan, there you go. Prospector, again, a GL that never got used. Let's see. Remove sticky grenade, flame grenade, and remote detonation function. Reduced mag size. Bonus ammo on the catalyst was changed to reload speed. So we get 3 powerful cluster bombs on detonation, but you get more damage per shot. I don't think people are going to be using Prospector even with these changes. Unless it does like some crazy amount of damage, like burst DPS, I can't see this being used much. It's cool that they took a pass on it though. Chaperone. Doing some PvE adjustments, I suppose. Some more ammo. Okay. Lumina. Updated hipfire projectiles have more closely to behave more like the sport auto rifle healing shots. Okay, so they're probably just gonna shoot a little bit faster and have better tracking. I've always liked Lumina. It's always been a sleeper pick. So it's nice to see it get a little bit of a feels adjustment. Bug fix on Slice. Slideways is just another feels change. Alloy mag. Little bump on that. Auto loading, increased time to reload by 1 second. I wonder how this is going to affect damage rotations, because it's pretty tight. I'll have to think about this. We'll have to see what happens when people get their hands on this next week. I guess if you're not running enhanced, you're not going to have any use for auto-loading holster. Reconstruction, also in the same position as auto-loading, so they do not want you getting your ammo back as fast as you currently are, which is kind of annoying. Master of Arms, no one really used Recluse when it came back. Maybe a little bit in the Crucible, but then it kind of just fell off. So I guess they're making its perk a little bit better. Dawning Origin trait. If you're using a Dawning weapon, like, okay. Unless I'm thinking of the wrong trait, but okay. And some Iron Banner buffs. Cool. I never really used Iron Banner weapons anyway, so I don't care. Oh my gosh. New weapon mods. Combo stat mod bundles 2 stats. Okay, cool. So just a little bit more flexibility in weapon stats. Anti-flinch, which is going to be nice for sniper rifles. Ammo finder. I think this might be the most used mod now. Probably. Especially on primaries. I could see this being like just kind of a always pick. Zoom, don't care. This might be a PvP buff, I would assume. Synergy, escalating chance to spawn a subclass bauble? What's a bauble? Is that... I guess that's their word for deployable? Like a void breach or something like that? Fire sprite? That'll be interesting. Maybe people will take that. Stun loader partially refills this weapon's magazine on stunning a champion. I'm not going to take that. It's not bad. I think synergy and ammo finder enhancement are going to be the 2 PvE perks that people take. And then optics and combo stat is probably going to be good for PvP. Everything else isn't that important. Hunting scorn with new gear. Okay, we got new weapons. Oh my gosh. Boys, this is the longest TWID of all time. Precision frame sidearm. Let's see. It's not a rocket, so I'm not going to use it. It's got destabilizing repulsor. So an easy source of that combination, I guess, is fine if you're a void player. Another void weapon, sniper rifle. No distractions is pretty good. Reconstruction is pretty good. Discord is pretty good. Precision instrument, box breathing, firing line. I'm assuming this is a special ammo sniper. It might be okay as like a backup damage weapon. I'm probably just gonna stick to the snipers I'm currently using. Anyway, red tape, stasis lightweight frame scout. A lot of new perks. Headstone, keep away. I think this is going to be a PvP scout. Probably similar to Mida, but with headstone, it's going to be... keep away is going to be a lot better. We'll see what happens, though. Vantage point, adaptive pulse with bolt shot. So automatically it's probably going to get used. We'll see what these 2 perks are. The other ones are not awesome in PvE. Maybe there's some PvP usage here with multi-kill clip, keep away, swash, headseeker. Or headseeker keep away is pretty good. So you'll probably see this in PvP. Stasis hand cannon. Does it get headstone? It does. So it's going to be... This is the 3rd stasis hand cannon now with headstone. Ice Luna and I think it's Judgment from Prophecy both have headstone. So I guess it's fighting for your stasis slot. I don't know. I think we'll have to see what the redacted perks are. Outlaw is pretty good. Triple tap is fine. But I think it's really going to be reliant on what these new perks are going to be. Bittersweet, adaptive GL, reverberation, cascade point, explosive light, bait and switch. 3 really good DPS perks. I think this one is going to be reliant on this. Whatever this perk ends up being is going to be what makes or breaks the weapon. Otherwise, you're taking reverberation, and I don't know if that's really worth it. Liturgy, double fire GL, interesting. With chill clip, it does get reconstruction and slideways. This might be a DPS rotation choice. The only problem is it is stasis, so you're taking the slot from something like Izanagi's, but I guess we'll have to wait for the damage testing to come out to see how good it is, and also see what these perks are. But most likely you're going to take Chill Clipper Lead from Gold in column 4, and then it's going to be dependent on whatever the redacted perks are. But Envious, Reconstruction, Slideways are still really good. So it might just be good anyway. Update on seasonal weapon crafting. We can comment on the new direction we are moving towards with Revenant. As we look back into the light, we believe part of its I can't speak today. Part of its success was the chase for brave arsenal weapons with attunement. We want to focus on that experience. So starting in Revenant, seasonal weapons will not be craftable. I actually really like this change. Sorry, cat is being weird. This will give people a reason to actually play the game and chase loot. That might be a controversial decision or opinion, but no one complained about the onslaught weapons, and it gave people a reason to run those activities. So assuming that the sources of seasonal weapons are really good, fun and replayable, then I don't see a problem with this. If the activities are really boring and repetitive like they were in Echoes, this change is going to make me very upset. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like they're trying to improve the looting in the game, kind of backtracking a bit on all of the, like, just give people loot that they've been doing up until this point, which is, you know, both a good and a bad thing, depending on what kind of a player you are. Crafting will remain a way for players to get that role they desire, and it's not going away, as you can see below, but for some time, the value of individual weapon drops in that God Roll pursuit has been replaced, if not nullified, by Deep Sight. It'll be interesting to see if maybe after a few seasons they make these seasonal weapons craftable again. That way, you know, when the activities leave the game, you can still get the God Roll. I don't know if that's the case they're going for, but we'll see. Reprised Garden of Salvation weapons. I have been waiting so long for this raid to come back to relevancy. So long. They should have reprised this raid a year ago when they released Season of the Wish. It was the perfect season to tie in with Garden of Salvation. They didn't do it, but I'm glad to see that they're doing it now. Which probably means they're going to be craftable. Yep, great weapons that can be crafted. And there's some new perks. Sweet. And it's going to be similar to Last Wish. So we go to Hawthorne, get the quest, and then when you finish the raid, you can get a Deep Sight weapon, guaranteed. Let's see. Destabilizing, Paracausal Affinity on Reckless Oracle. Paracausal Affinity is pretty interesting, actually. If I'm not losing my mind, I think that's the Root of Nightmares perk. So will that mean this works with the Root of Nightmares weapons? That would be really interesting. And really cool, actually. Let's see. Accrued Redemption, Offhand Strike, Archer's Gambit. I don't think I ever used the bow, but I don't think it was bad. Zealot's Reward, Destabilizing Reservoir Burst. This was always kind of a sleeper fusion rifle. So with the addition of Reservoir Burst, I think it's going to be very useful. Ancient Gospel is now a void weapon. It gets Rampage Kill Clip, so it looks like they're probably gearing this towards PvP. Maybe as a replacement to something like Palindrome, which you can't get anymore. Cool. I still have my Palindromes. Sacred Providence is now it's always been a kinetic aggressive pulse rifle. Demo Kinetic Tremors. Great perk, or great perks. Prophet of Doom. I love the shotgun. I get memed on for it, but I do like it. It gets Volt Shot, which is cool. I've never really used Threat Remover, but I don't think it's a terrible perk. Omniscient Eye. I really like this sniper rifle. The sight is really clean. I went flawless in trials with it. But it looks like they're gearing it more towards a PvE angle with 4th times and precision instrument. But it looks like very good changes here. And it'll give me a reason to run Garden of Salvation again, which, even though the raid is a little broken, it was still a good raid. So I'm excited to get back in. More weapons. Oh my god. Are these Iron Banner? Oh, no. These are ritual activities. Stasis Auto Rifle, Arc Sidearm, Stasis Shotgun, Strand GL from Vanguard, which means this one is going to be Adept. There's going to be an Adept version. We'll see if it beats out Cataphract. We'll have to look at the perks. Actually, no, because it's not a Nightfall weapon. So, never mind. Ignore what I just said. Nightfall. Stasis Aggressive Glaive. Is this a, like, not a heavy glaive? So we are getting a kinetic slot glaive? That's kind of exciting. Plug 1 is coming back, which is cool. I still have my Plug 1, but it's not a great roll. Gambit, who cares about Gambit? Unless it got good perks. Iron Banner. Armor looks cool. Stasis Rocket Frame Sidearm with Chill Clip. That's going to be sweet. I'm going to be hunting that one down just for Chill Clip. Bait and Switch is kind of a weird choice, but people are going to want Chill Clip. Maybe Reverb. Archon's Thunder Stasis Machine Gun. Okay, it's a machine gun, like it's fine. It gets 4th time rewind, headstone, killing tally. It'll be a good machine gun. I don't think it's gonna beat out what I'm using currently, but cool. Weapon ornament fixes. Okay, I don't even. Okay, they changed the colors. Whatever. Reinverted Spire. Cool. Inverted Spire is back. It's always fun to see the reprise strikes, so it'll be fun to see what they do with this one. Discord Quest. Okay, whatever. I guess you get a shader. Fine. Hurricane support, and that looks like it's it. And we get a nice little animal picture to go with the TWID. That's what my cat does too, except he's not that fat. Anyway, that's everything. About an hour-long video. But it looks like a lot of the changes are good. I like the exotic changes. I like that the artifact is going to be mostly stasis. I'm excited to get my hands on the stasis changes and see how they work in the game. And honestly, I'm excited for a lot of new weapons coming out. You know, the garden weapons are going to be pretty cool, and then, you know, the stasis sidearm and the stasis glaive should be pretty cool to be able to play around with. But I think that's it. So if you were just here for the TWID information, that's the TWID. Those are my opinions. Very quick opinions, aka an hour. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, I'm going to be making more content more frequently now. I have more time. So if that's something you're interested in, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, all of that good stuff. Now, for the reason that I am making more content now. So if you don't care about this, you could leave. I won't judge you. But if you follow me on Twitter, you would know that I have been laid off from my job. So I am going to be focusing a lot more on content, at least until I could find another job somewhere. YouTube is unironically currently my only source of income. So if you know, if you want to help support me, best thing you can do is just watch the videos, share them with people, And of course, there's things like the membership button underneath the video. You get early access to the stuff. You get emotes and it's pretty cool. You could also find me on Twitch, but pretty much the best thing you could do is just watch, interact with the videos, share them around, leave your comment. It'll mean a lot for me going into these tough times. What is Percy doing? Anyway, I just wanted to take a quick second to let everyone know what's going on. Yeah. So anyway, thank you all for watching. That's all I've got for now. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.